November the 8th, 324 AD. After 2 decades of war, the Emperor Constantine finally seized sole control of the entire Roman Empire. A leader with a vision, a brilliant strategist, Constantine was a man without limits.
He became emperor really through his own wiles. He is ruthless in the way he assumes power.
Constantine the Great was one of those rulers that changed the world. He inherited a Roman Empire which had been divided into 2 parts.
Constantine would reunite the vast empire, ruling over its western and eastern halves.
He was a very astute politician, and he was faced with the problem of both administering and of managing this enormous realm.
Six weeks after coming to power, Constantine journeyed to the edge of the empire, to a remote spot in modern-day Turkey.
Constantine took a spear and traced the outline of the city in the dirt. His entourage was somewhat amazed at the extent to which he intended to build the city. He is said to have commented, "I will go as far as until he who leads me stops."
That line would become the boundary of the empire's great new capital, Nova Roma, New Rome. From that outline would rise a glittering city at the heart of a great new empire. The city would come to be known as Constantinopolis, Constantine's city.
Constantine effectively shifts the center of the Roman Empire and founds a new center.
He was moving away from Rome with its old rivalries, political infighting, vested interests and so forth, to create something quite new, which he could mold.
Constantine's vision for his new city would be built upon the engineering techniques perfected across the Roman Empire.
There was a grand campaign of construction, of building forums, marketplaces, to build the kind of buildings that ancient Rome had.
But Constantine's rule would be marked by one major distinction. Unlike any previous emperor, he would harness the power of another leader. His name was Jesus Christ.
Christianity is really on the rise. There is a large Christian presence in the empire, and simply recognizing this presence made a good deal of political sense.
Constantinople was founded, in effect, as a Christian empire, and Orthodox Christianity was fundamental to its existence.
Now we have to remember that even though Constantine was venerated by Christianity, he's still an emperor. In other words, a dictator who's not only killed his son, his stepson, but also his second wife, all on the same trip to Italy. So if the boy wants a city, he's going to get a city and not take no for an answer. Problem is, how do you attract people to a dusty town in the hinterlands called Byzantium? Well, first of all, you might want to rename it after yourself. And second of all, in the style of all Roman emperors, rebuild it. If Constantine could rise out of the grave today and see the success story of Istanbul, population 12 million, 2 million tourists a year, he'd probably faint. Because in 337 AD, when he dies, not only is the city half done, but he's got a big problem. Bulging population, one little provincial aqueduct in a city surrounded by sea. So there's water everywhere, but not a drop to drink.
By the mid-4th century, the city was dying of thirst. Constantine's successors would have to develop a water supply far larger than Rome's to keep the city alive. The system they built would be one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world.
There were no local water resources within the city walls of Constantinople, and hence water had to be brought from a much greater distance than anywhere else in the classical world and in the Mediterranean.
The task fell to an emperor named Valens, who ruled from 364 to 378 AD. Valens oversaw an ambitious plan for the world's longest aqueduct system. Completed, it transported spring water a staggering 400 miles, equal to the combined length of all the Roman Empire's aqueducts. The main